It is time for some Pittsburgh Steelers talk. It's time for the Eagles to get back on the right side of the tracks. Statement game for the Eagles Sunday. A big injury for the Steelers offensively that's going to make a huge difference. And how the Eagles get back on track next week. Some other news clearing the air a little bit and getting back to work. So let's go talk about it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. So we're going to go some news for the Philadelphia Eagles. So a lot to discuss here. Big game on Sunday. I mean, the Eagles got to get back to work. We have to get back to being focused on more important things than all of the BS bullshit that's been going around this past week. And with the Pittsburgh Steelers and that defense over there, you really can't afford to make mistakes against them. Okay, but one of the biggest news coming out of Pittsburgh, and I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers have beat the Eagles at home since 1965 or something like that. It's been a long time. But talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, George Pickens looks like he is going to be out for this game. He had a hamstring injury last week, didn't play last week. The MRI showed it was a little bit more serious than expected with the hamstring. So it looks like he is doubtful, untermed, doubtful not to play this week. This is big for the Eagles. So really all the Eagles really have to do is hone in on Najee Harris that has almost 900 yards. I think he has 877 yards on the year right now. I like Najee Harris. I think they could do, I think Najee Harris is a good back. I don't think he is as shifty. He's a bruiser back with a little bit of a tiny bit of shiftiness, a little bit of speed. I think they could stop him. I think they can really, make Russell Wilson throw the ball a lot more in this game on Sunday. But these edge rushers have got to contain. The tackling has got to get better because we're coming off of one really bad game post bye week. The Eagles really defensively, this was the first time the defense really, they struggled a little bit. I mean, they held the Panthers to 16 points, but, obviously tackling has to get better. You're still going to have injuries this week. I don't know what's going on with Reed Blankenship, if they're getting some safety help back or whatnot. So I think the Eagles are going to stay with what they have right now. If the injuries don't change and they really have to tackle low, they have to be good on this defensive line. They have to run some stunts. They have to do some good things to this offense. And I think they got to really contain Russell Wilson. That's going to be the biggest thing in this game. Okay, so George Pickens out. I think they can maintain Najee Harris pretty well. I know they have some injuries to the defense and stuff like that, but they have a good front as well. Not too bad. Russell Wilson having a pretty good year, with a new team. And, I missed some snaps early in the season. Quarterback controversy early in the season. Looks like, he has really caught on with his stride. The Eagles haven't been successful against Russell Wilson at all. They haven't won against him in a long time, or just haven't played it well against him in a long time. I think the last game we had against him was, I'm thinking 2019 in the wild card. I could be wrong, but it's been a while, and hopefully we could kind of end that drought of getting beat by Russell Wilson over and over again. And he's had a pretty good year. He's got 1,784 yards for the season. I think he's got 12 touchdowns on the year so far. If you look at the rankings for the Pittsburgh Steelers, offensively, yards per game, they're ranked 17th with 338. Rushing yards per game, 9th with 132. Passing yards, 23rd, 206. And 10th in the league in points per game at 24.8. Their defense, ranked 7th. With 300 yards per game, 310.2. Fourth in the league, 91.5 against the rush. Top 5 team against the run. So I guess it's going to be a big challenge for the Eagles. Saquon Barkley, fast starts in the first quarter. That's what we want. Passing yards per game, 17th in the league with 218.6. And 5th in the league in points, 18.3. Okay, so the defense, I'm more worried about this defense. This Pittsburgh defense, Cam Hayward, obviously TJ Watt we have to watch out for. Patrick Queen's a very good player. This is a defense that flies around, and they're physical, and they get to it. So You need as much weapons on this field as possible. I think you're going to challenge that team regardless how good they are against the run. They haven't faced Saquon Barkley this year against a really good offensive line. But this offense, we know the big question is Jalen Hurts has got to have a better game with lesser of the mistakes that he made than he did last game. The run game, hopefully you're going to run some motion, run some slants, do some crossers, something, do some quick things against this defense. Um, Hurts has to really be on point. This is really his comeback game, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying he's got to throw 30 times, but he just has to make less of the mistakes and hopefully can hit some guys that are wide open and get this ball going forward, because that's been really the main concern, the lack of him being more in the pocket passing and kind of eyeing one receiver too much, or some of these audible calls, these changing of the plays at the line when certain downs don't make certain sense with some of these calls from Jalen Hurts, whether you're audibling from a pass to a run to from a run to a pass on a second, third and short, things like that. Get these receivers involved. So this is a good team. This is not, I think George Pickens is definitely, you take him out of the offense. Yeah. Does it make them one dimensional? It kind of does, because if you shut Najee Harris down, then really all that pressure is going to be on Russell Wilson in the game. And obviously that defense, like, we have to block. I mean, Hurts has got to watch out, because I think this defense has like 23 to 25 turnovers for the season. I mean, that's pretty big. You know what I mean? So you really can't. There's teams out there where offensively you can afford to make mistakes, but against this defense, let me tell you, they're gonna get rowdy. They're gonna try to knock the ball out. They're gonna be all over this offense. So we have got to make things simple for Jalen Hurts. We have got to the quick passing game, something, motion. I mean, they got to do something. This offense is gonna run on all four cylinders. Try some up tempo in the first quarter, and run Saquon Barkley and pass off of those runs, maybe under center some play action fakes or something. I don't know, something in that regard they have got to do. I feel like things are taking way too long to develop, and Hurts is being way too patient, not trusting his arm at times, and this is where the offense is looking like it's lacking so much. So I don't think you can afford to make mistakes against this defense. We know this defense with Vic Fangio, we know they're going to get back on track. I think this defense was humbled a little bit. And, I think defenses always have to be humbled, even if you play good all year really for the Eagles since the bye week. I don't think a lot of these players that we usually root for had really great games. I don't think DeJean had a really good game against Adam Thielen last week. The whole defense didn't play good. Not really great tackling. Defensive line only had 1 sack on Bryce Young last week, and they have to really get after it this week. So hopefully they run some stunts, some blitz packages, because if these edge rushers aren't doing much of anything, then they're just going to double on Jordan Davis. They're going to double on Jalen Carter, and then you're at a standstill the entire game, hoping that the secondary can cover guys for, 4 to 5 seconds, which, it's almost impossible to do. So really need some big help from this defensive line this week, win this game, and possibly could be winning the division, which is good. And that's another thing on the books that we don't have to worry about. Already have that playoff berth already in there. So the Steelers are a good team, and Russell Wilson has really caught his stride this season with a new team and, ready to do his thing. So the Eagles got to be ready and prepared, and hopefully all this other BS is kind of out the door as of right now. And speaking of this month, the holiday season, and if you guys haven't checked out the Philly Shakedown podcast merch, definitely check it all out. It's fantastic. We have some new designs for you when it comes to the merch in general, from hoodies to t-shirts, all that great stuff, great designs, women's t-shirts, youth t-shirts, crew neck sweatshirts, all that stuff. Go order your Philly Shakedown merch. If you buy two pieces of merch, you get 10% off. You buy 3, you get 15% off. You buy 4, you get 20% off. You buy 4 shirts for the price of 3. And if you spend $150 or more, you get free shipping. So link in the description for all of that great stuff regarding the Philly Shakedown merch. So I appreciate everybody for that. And lastly, I kind of want to go over 2 things, okay? A.J. Brown has his press conference the other day. I mean, did somebody die? Did the Capitol get bombarded by? I mean, seriously, this is crazy. Like, just looking at this picture, just like, how much things are taken out of pocket with the news that's been said. AJ Brown met with the media the other day. He said everything is perfectly fine. There were, nothing has changed. Everything's fine. Talked about BG and his comments, and everyone is talking out of emotion. This is what happens with players. And I don't think there's an actual issue here. Like I said, we're not surprised it was blown out of proportion. But from some of these interviews and some of these things the players have been saying, things are going to get twisted. Even Nick Sirianni was talking about, I see AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, having lunch every day. And he feels like this season has those 2022 vibes, not the 23 vibes, more 22. So from Nick's standpoint on that and him saying that makes me feel a lot better of where things are going. I don't think things were actually happening, but things are said after a game out of emotion just because, that's just what happens. AJ Brown did state that when he mentioned the passing game, he didn't mean Jalen Hurts is the problem. The passing game is the problem. What we're doing in the passing game is the problem. I know it sounds kind of weird because Jalen Hurts is the quarterback and that's your best friend. So so that was good that at least some of this stuff is dying down. Media is trying to get more out of it. You're not going to get more out of it than what it is right now. And that's pretty much it. This is a big matchup on Sunday. This is America's game of the week. This Sunday, Eagles, Pittsburgh Steelers, the Battle of Pennsylvania. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for it. This is a big redemption game for this team. It's not even like redemption. It's just they had a bad game last week. They didn't lose last week. They didn't get massacred last week. They underperformed against, a statistically bad team that came into Philadelphia. And that's all that was. So, let me know your guys' thoughts on the Pittsburgh Steelers. With George Pickens out of the lineup, what do you guys think that the Eagles have to really concentrate on defensively? And do you feel like this offense is going to have a fast start the first quarter? We have got to have 17 points in first quarters in the entire season. It's just not good enough. So you stop Najee Harris. You don't have to worry about George Pickens, Russell Wilson. Keep them contained, and I think you'll have a pretty good day. Hopefully get some turnovers, all that great stuff. The Eagles offensively cannot afford to make mistakes against this Pittsburgh defense because they really get after it. So that's where I am with the entire situation. Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday night. Let me know Sunday middle of the day. Sorry. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Peace.